Recording in progress.
Hey.
Hey, hi.
Oh.
Okay, so today's kind of a special day, right? Because we're going to talk about Grant's hometowns, and then we're also going to chat about Love is Blind, the
Yeah,
first episode, all the farther we've gotten. Hopefully next week we'll be able to do like episode 2 and 3. Because
yeah,
I feel like with Love is Blind, like the first, till they get out of the pods, like it's just kind of like the same thing the whole time, I guess. Does that make sense? Same
yeah,
dynamic.
but it is, there are interesting pieces to me. Like, I'll just say it. I'm just going to go in and dive in and
Yeah,
say this. Like,
say it.
the guy who does, I'm so bad with their names because until I've watched a couple, I just like can't remember, and I did not make notes.
I took notes this time because I'm like, there is so much going on. And I
Oh
didn't
my
know.
God, so much. The
Okay.
guy that's like the medical device sales guy,
Dave, yes.
Dave. Yeah, that's his name, Dave. So,
Poor Dave.
um, oh my God, I could just like get into it just from episode 1 on him. But it's fascinating to me because he'll like have a conversation and be like, oh, yeah, I like you so much. Like, I think you're the one. And then he has another conversation and says the same thing. And he'll ask like the same kinds of questions or things that he's like, one of them, they were talking about tattoos. And so he went right into the next day and like the first thing, and he acted like it just, oh, I just thought of, for some reason, I was just thinking about tattoos. Like, do you have a
Yeah.
tattoo? And I'm like, you didn't just think of that. That's because you were just talking to
Yeah.
that other girl about it.
He has an agenda, clearly, because I feel like he
Yeah.
didn't come up with an organic anything. Like he didn't let it flow because he asked every
Yeah.
single girl, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I'm like,
Oh, I know. He gets the same, he has the
yeah.
same question. That's my point. Yeah. It's like,
Not
oh,
even, yeah, but it's the question, I guess, that got me. Like, what do you mean? What's wrong? What's wrong with you? You're here too. Like,
right.
what's wrong with me? You're
Right.
here. Why are you
I,
here? There's something wrong with me. Like, I
yeah,
love the reactions though. They were like, "What? Like, you're not serious, are you? Like, what is wrong with you?"
I know.
I'm really interested to see what. Well, I shouldn't even say that. I've already watched ahead because I started it. Once I start, I can't help it. So I already
Yeah.
kind of know a couple things. Like I haven't. I think I'm on. I like fully watched episode 3 or 4.
Oh,
Anyways,
wow.
yeah. Well, I got started. I'm telling you, it took me forever to get into episode 1, and then I
Then
was
you
like,
got
oh,
on a
okay,
roll. Yeah, you were
let's,
on a roll after that.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was not
Anyway, we can
impressed.
like, yeah,
Yeah, let's
I,
start with Grant. Let's start with Grant.
yeah, we can go back to The Bachelor. I just wanted to say that about Love is Blind because it's wild to me that sometimes like how they act. And I will say that at least on The Bachelor, because for me, I'm always comparing them. And like
Yeah,
at least on The Bachelor doesn't ask, like Grant hasn't asked the exact same question of every person and acted the same. Like you can see that
hmm,
there's an authentic shift with each person, like
uh-huh.
how he interacts with them. And I I wonder if part of that is because they are all together and stuff. So like he couldn't show up and just say the exact same script to every single person because they would all know what
Right.
was going on. But on Love is
Yeah.
Blind, like they have no clue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a clue when they get back together because it's the same way.
Oh,
The women all get back together in the evening.
yeah, but you know what? That's another thing. They don't always share who their picks are, who
Yeah,
they talk to.
which is smart. Very smart.
Yes, yeah. But it's I think that's what keeps them from like having major issues.
Yeah,
Whereas on The Bachelor, it gets
they
catty
all
and
know.
stuff.
Yeah, they all know. I
Yeah.
think
So
I
anyway,
like I like Love is Blind because there's so many options to different relationships. Like I like that because I also really like Bachelor in Paradise. I like to see like a whole bunch of relationships instead of just one. Like, don't get me wrong, I like The Bachelor, but it's more exciting maybe to see like different
Uh-huh.
dynamics. I don't know. Um,
Right.
but yeah, let's jump into Grant. And I don't have my
Yeah.
watch today. I'm just letting you know. So you'll have to be the
I'm watching.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so Grant, I loved every hometown. I've never seen it where there hasn't been drama. Like I know there's a little bit of drama with like Dina's parents, like family not showing up, which is I mean, I don't really consider that like a lot of drama because like I
Right.
respect that. Like they're not like coming on where, some families like really attack the person. Like nobody attacked him. I think that speaks a lot for his character though, because sometimes I feel like with some of the bachelors who get more heat from the family, I'm like, yeah, like I could see why. Like I could see why their family gave them like such a hard time or something, you know?
Yeah. I was surprised by, I saw a totally different side of Zoe with her family
Yeah.
than what we see, otherwise, like what we've seen so
Yeah.
far.
Uh-huh.
So I did like seeing that different side of her and that different dynamic. Um,
I still thought she was very stiff. Like even with her family, I felt like she just like and maybe it's just her personality. Like that's just who she is to her core. She's just a very like stiff
yeah, I
person. I
did think she's
don't know, just very standoffish.
relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just like
she's
the way
definitely yeah, she's definitely not relaxed, but I would say I felt like she was more relaxed with them and more
Mhm.
like a little softer, maybe
Yeah. Yeah. She just I
than,
don't know.
yeah.
The way she talks and stuff is just like and I'm not nitpicking her. I just feel like she just like the way she even holds her jaw, like there's some tightness,
Oh,
like
yeah.
she can't
100%.
relax or something. I mean,
That's
I
how,
think she's nice. Like I like her now that we've gotten this far. But I thought out of all the girls, he was the least affectionate with her. Like when they went to get in the car, like all the other girls he would like hug and hold on to, and they like held hands and like did a quick peck and that was it. Like
right.
there was no, I didn't feel
Well,
like there was any longing or like, don't go. Like, I'm so sad to see you go. Like, I don't want you to leave kind of a thing. It was just like, peace out. We've done our job.
do you think he was that way with Dina? I don't remember.
I thought he was pretty affectionate with her. Yeah. Cause after I saw Zoe, I was like, I'm going to pay more attention here, buddy. And then with Dina, I mean, he seemed to be very, I don't,
'Cause
I'm not surprised she left because
yeah.
I don't see them vibing as well as
Mhm.
Latia and Juliana. But
I will be surprised if it's not Latia and Juliana at the end.
it has to be, well, okay, here's also my second theory, which I don't think Grant is this kind of person, but maybe it'll be Zoe and Latia because if to me, it would be easier for me in the process to get rid of my one of my harder people to get rid of like sooner than to keep it to her being like the final two. Like if I really knew, like how did you watch Joey's season?
Hmm.
He knew it wasn't Daisy. Daisy knew it wasn't Daisy. He should have just got rid of her the week before and not kept her till the end. Then it would
So
be
you
easier
think,
to tell. It'd be easier to tell
so,
your third person
yeah.
goodbye than your
So
second person.
me reading your mind.
Yeah,
Tell
read
me
it.
if this is accurate. Tell me if this is accurate. You're saying you think he's gonna pick Latia, and so you think that he's gonna send Juliana home because he actually has the next strongest feelings for her. And so it would be like just send her home so he doesn't have to deal with it.
Okay,
That,
that's what I think he should do. He's
oh,
not going to do that because Grant's an upstanding guy. He's not going to do that. He's totally not going to do that.
right.
I'm
So
just throwing that out there. That's my own personal. Maybe if he did
yeah,
it this way, it would be easier in the end.
yeah. So I think he definitely has a really strong connection with Latia, but I do see that he has one also with Juliana. And I just think in that position, I would feel like because it's happening so fast,
Mm-hmm.
it's like such a compressed schedule. I feel like I would want the two people that I felt the strongest about to be the ones meeting my family because anything could change in a day or a week at that point. Like,
Yeah, I would be curious. If I was in that position, I would be, yeah,
yeah, because I
I would
just
want,
think so much changes so fast all the time on that show. And I mean, rightfully so, because they're like, if you think about dating, when I think about dating, I could be like so into someone and then multiple things happen over a period of 2 or 3 weeks and it just be like, I'm done.
yeah,
It could literally, but it's like that final thing in that one final week that's like, I'm done. Or I could be like, I don't know. And then they do something just like unexpected in this one date we had that just makes me be like, oh my God, I like them so much.
yeah.
Anyway.
No, I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just throwing out my little theory of, well, if you approached it this way, it might be easier towards the end. I don't know. I think he does like Juliana. I would feel this is me personally, I would feel some sort of hesitation for her over Latia because she's made comments about, just putting on a giggly face, putting on a happy face for like whatever. It's just her cope
Oh,
them. So to me, I guess now I have a harder time with her because I'm like, when they're standing at the end getting ready to get their roses and she's standing there with her like smile and I'm like, is that like a legit you're happy or like are you just putting it on? Where
oh,
the
I see.
are like more, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's interesting because I learned as a little girl going through trauma that nobody really gives a fuck. So just put a smile on your face and go on and act like everything's fine. And obviously, like that's the story I told myself, right? Because
Yeah.
things were happening to me that I internalized it like nobody gives a shit because they kept happening.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, I'm not saying like my parents actually didn't give a shit. Just to be clear. Um,
Just to be.
but I can relate to that because I think I, when you go through certain things in life, it's at least for me, it was that kind of that same way. So people see me like out, and I have people comment a lot to me that, oh my God, you're always like in such a good mood and you're always so happy and cheerful and you bring such good energy. And that is true. It's not fake. I do because I've cultivated that in myself and that's how I want to show up. But it doesn't mean shit's not going down on the inside. I just don't wear that around everywhere I go. I share that with the people that I feel are worthy of me sharing that with. So, like in my relationships, I would share that with my husband or like a boyfriend that I was really, really close with. I would let him see those parts of me, but that would be private. So that's kind of how I took that. Like, oh, yeah, I get it because, but she's wanting someone that she can share it with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, no. I totally get that. And I get her whole like I totally get everything you're just saying. And I think that that's, it makes sense all of that. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying like for me right now and hopefully I mean like if I was Grant, I mean, I haven't seen like every conversation they've had, obviously, or like word for word or whatever. But I would hope like during fantasy suites and when you get those opportunities to have more alone time that you try and get to those things because
Yeah.
you don't want to wait until an engagement, like after an engagement, to address any of that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's just what
Yeah.
I was thinking. So with her, like I understand the need to be that way or the thought process of, why you are that way. I just think like in this case, for me, I'm just curious, I guess, to know her more and like and
Yeah.
it's not my place obviously to know her more, but I just feel that
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
desire, like, when you're standing up
Yeah.
here and
I
like she's
understand.
happy because I feel like she has the same smile all the time. So maybe she just is genuinely happy. I would be really curious, like, is that like your real happy smile or is that your I'm nervous as heck, so I'm gonna stand here and hope for the best smile? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And both of those I would say are genuine. I just know for me, like I have cultivated so deeply this place in myself of joyfulness and peace and purposely showing up how I want to show up
Yeah.
like that I like it's genuine. It just doesn't that
Yeah.
I'm not nervous or scared or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah.
in contrast to that, what I find interesting is that okay, first of all, I just find this so interesting because I think it also like our perception is created from our own experiences. So what I'm getting ready to say, I'm like, oh my, I hadn't thought about it until you opened the door to this conversation. But I'm like, of course, this is my perception because of my experiences. And I'm curious like what your perception is, because you've had different life experience than me. But so in contrast to that scenario with Latia, like I almost don't trust that everything is so like everything's not picture perfect in her life. Obviously, she grew up without her dad, but
Mm-hmm.
like so, and that I'm sure is I can't even imagine, like how that would impact someone. Um, but I think like she also seems like almost I don't want to say too good to be true. I'm just trying to think of another what I mean by that.
Like you're kind of waiting for the shoe to drop or something.
Like everything is just so perfect in her life and her family is just so great. Like there's no problem and again, it's a show that we
Yeah.
see a very small piece of, but the
Mm-hmm.
same way that you are having the wonderment you're having, I'm having wonderment like around her and wondering if like I don't know if I would trust that because what other real shit have you gone through in your life? Like aside from the dad, okay, I know that's a thing in itself, but like, I don't remember her talking about going through real shit and struggles and stuff like that. And when that comes up in life, how do you navigate it? How do you handle it? Do you have practice in that? Do you have and maybe she can handle it beautifully because of her spiritual foundation, which by the way, I loved how her family responded to him. And I was so surprised and I loved it.
Yeah.
Um,
They're
so that was,
um definitely good examples of God's love, and I think that
yes.
was, yeah, wonderful.
Even her mom, even her mom saying, well, when she was like, I don't know if I could get past if he slept with someone in the fantasy suite, and her mom saying, well, do you think you could just be open minded about it?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I think her family seems to have their head on straight and do I mean, I guess what I would say, I think that they all have morals and values and whatever, but I think that they're mature people. And I even thought like Juliana's family was cute too, because I liked how Grant asked like her dad, like, you know, you would be somebody I would like look up to as like a dad
Yeah.
person, a man who kept his family together. Like I would need to lean on you and like have your support because I don't have a good
Didn't you
example
like
of that.
that?
Yeah, I
I
was like,
love
Grant, you're like wonderful.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah, I don't think, like, I think from what I can tell, I think everybody is being genuine. I was just thinking, like, out of curiosity's sake with Juliana, like, I just would like to see, like, just the curiosity in me has come out of, like, okay, can you tell me, like as a friend, you know, okay, how are you feeling now? How are you feeling now? Like, what is this smile? What is that? Like,
Yeah.
if I knew that about her, I would just want to know, like, you know,
Yeah.
when the families sit down and stuff and talk to them and they're like, okay, tell me what you think, tell me about him, tell me about your experiences, that kind of a thing. um
Right. But do you have, like, when I asked that about Latia, is there any like,
I guess to me I would say, like, for Latia, the whole sex thing, like, I'm really curious to see what will come about of that, like, and does she have problems with Grant having sex with other people before they met, like,
yeah,
that's something she would have to think about and like have on her mind too, like, because her mom brought up a good point, like, okay, well, you might have to be open-minded about this, and she's probably going to have to be.
yeah. But do you think she's gone through things that, you know, that she's already
Yeah,
had to face
I
a
mean, I
struggle?
would
I just think she shows up
say
like,
so, because remember how she got mad at him for saying that she was pretty, and she's like, well, I'm still here, like,
oh,
obviously
yeah,
I'm not good enough, like,
yeah. I forgot about that. You're right. I forgot
yeah,
about
but
that.
I can see why. I think the way they have it set up, why she would be like picture perfect, because I do feel like they have
That's yeah.
the way that it's produced and shown. I feel like it's showing her as like picture
Yes,
perfect.
a little
But
princess person.
but I also think that maybe she does have really a really good practice, a really good foundation, because if her mom is asking her to like stay open-minded during this situation that's going to be very challenging and difficult, like clearly her mom has thought about this, and like,
Yeah.
and even the whole
Now,
family before he got there, like they all had to have thought about the fact that, like, what if he's not a Christian? What if he's not Mormon? What if he's whatever, you know? And they probably should have known that he's not Mormon because he was on Jen's season. Like he never said anything about being Mormon. So I
he
think that
was
they've
probably
all like
drinking on
worked
there and
through
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, you brought up a good thing about the sex though. Like, I wonder if Latia is a virgin.
I don't know because she doesn't say that. But I
No,
can
I know.
see how you would struggle with that because I think that would be hard to know that, like, okay, well, tonight he's going to have sex with this person, and tomorrow night he's going to have sex with this person, and the third night he's going to have sex with me.
Yeah.
And how are we all going to line up with this? Or, I mean, you're going to assume, I guess. Like, I could see it being a question for anybody on the show, I would think. I wouldn't say
Would it bother you?
a
Would it
deal
bother you?
breaker. Yeah, I think so. But I would be like, okay, because I would the whole time I'd be like, I bet he's comparing me to somebody else. Like I bet that I'm not like as open to it as this person, or I bet I'm not like that's where I would be. I would just be like comparing myself. Or like, what's her face is way skinnier than I am. So he's gonna see my stretch marks, and I bet she doesn't have any stretch marks. Like
Oh my God, you're so funny.
that's what I would think.
It's
I don't
like, that part of it doesn't bother me. Like, that would not bother me at all. Because
yeah.
I would expect him to be having sex with all the people in the overnights because, quite frankly, like, I'm not gonna go get engaged to someone that I haven't had sex with. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I would just think, and I told you, before we've talked, I think even on here, that Like I've had relationships where like I was madly in love with someone and it just, we weren't going to like be totally together and me get everything I wanted out of that relationship. So we still saw each other, but we saw other people. And I told him, like, don't even tell me. I don't want to know. But I assumed he was having sex with other people. I definitely was. So, like, I didn't, I guess I just, for me, that's a totally different,
Yeah, you
um,
approach it. Yeah.
yeah. So I would be shocked if he said he did not have sex with the other people.
I would
You know
just
what
be
I mean?
like, man, that thing's gonna fall off. That's what I would, that's way too much for one person to handle. I don't know. I think,
3 days
what,
of sex?
yeah. I mean, you would think with three different people, who says they do it
You
just one time? Who says it's
I
just
know,
one?
but
Could be multiple.
you are so funny. It's gonna fall off. I'm dying over here. Oh
Gonna
my
fall.
god. I,
Um, I'm not serious. I mean, a little serious, but I'm
I
not
know
that serious.
it's making me laugh.
That's just what I would think. I don't know. I'd probably be more hesitant, more cautious if it was me personally, because I emotionally don't know like how I would be able to handle that. Like to get that far, to like put yourself out there in that way and then it not
Yeah.
work out, like I think that emotionally I would have a hard time.
Yeah. Right.
But anyways, that's not even next week. It's in 2 weeks because next week we have Women Tell
Yeah.
All, and in 2 weeks we have Fantasy Suites, I think. So
Yeah. And I really hope they get to the bottom of this Carolina thing in Women Tell All.
I know. I don't know that we will. I hope we do. I'm really grumpy about it, but we'll see. We'll see. Because I listened to Juliana. She was on like the Bachelor podcast. And she really didn't have like lots of information to share as far as like the Rose Carolina thing. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jesse does a good job and will get us answers.
Right. I'm
Okay. Do we have anything else for Grant?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. I don't think I do.
I really enjoyed the whole episode. I thought it was great. I was kind of shocked that Zoe stayed over Dina. I really like Latia's family. I like Juliana's family. I like Zoe's family. They all seemed like really nice. Dina's friends seemed great. Like they all just seemed like great people.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't surprised about Zoe staying and Dina not because I didn't feel any real connection between him and Dina. And I haven't for a while. I've thought it was wild that she was there to begin with, like this far in.
Well,
So,
there was a wild card, so I was expecting Zoe to go home because I thought he was more affectionate towards Dina, but
right.
no.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so
So, Love
we
is
should
on.
shift. Yeah, let's shift over to Love is Blind.
What do you have in your little notes about it?
I didn't even bring them with me. They're on my counter. So
Oh,
I write notes and then I wrote a couple of things down. I really like Alex. I like Madison. I like how Madison talks, although I could never talk that way. I'm like, I really kind of like how you talk, but I could
wait,
never.
which one's Madison?
She's the artist,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um,
painter.
yes. Do you know which conversation I loved?
Um,
You can
I want to guess. I'm gonna guess it was Meg. Was it Meg?
um what which one is she?
Oh my gosh, she was the one that talked like nonstop.
About what did they talk about?
She had the orange dress on. They
Yes,
just talked about like a bunch of random stuff. That's so
the
funny because
alien.
that was like my least favorite
Oh my
conversation.
god, I loved it.
because I don't think, like, I just didn't feel like he talked. Like, I just felt like she just kept like blurting out like anything that came to her mind. She just kept blurting and blurting and blurting. And he seemed to be
Yeah,
like
I mean,
into what she was saying, but I was like, there's
yeah,
really no like back and forth. You're just like just throwing all this stuff out there.
yeah. Well, first of all, I just wonder because we don't see the whole conversation, you know,
Yeah.
because we edit things, but I wonder if it was like them showing all the topics. But I love that they like got into those topics and agreed. Like they're like, oh my God, yeah, what if aliens are real? And yeah, what about this Joe Rogan podcast? And because like I'm
Mm-hmm.
weird as shit like that. Like, um,
We're just like,
I love it. Like I recently met someone for coffee and we were talking and he was like, he brought up like the conspiracy theories about COVID.
uh-huh.
And I was like immediately interested in him now. Like,
Yeah.
because I love all that stuff. I think about all of that. I think differently about things. And I like to like, no, I don't know. Let's uncover it. Let's see. Let's find out, you know? And so I don't know. I think for me, watching it, it felt, even though it seemed like maybe to some people superficial or silly, like
No,
I thought
I
it
wouldn't
felt
say it was
important.
superficial. I don't think it was
No, no,
superficial
no.
at all. Yeah.
And I think some people might. They might be like, why the fuck are they talking about aliens? Like, this is so ridiculous when they could be like getting to know each other more.
But I
But
think
I
that's
feel
what
like,
to know. Like, I think that that's a
well,
great way to get to know each other.
right. I think it's important because if you are someone who kind of like does think differently about things, and when I say differently, like I think people who don't believe in these weird things are the ones thinking differently. So I'm just mean from mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
I think it is really important, at least for me, to have a partner who can talk about that, can go there, can see those perspectives. Like they don't have to agree with every single thing I agree with, but I want them to be able to like see the perspective, talk about it, think about it, go into it, whatever with me. Because it's a huge part of just like how I think and my personality, if that makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, not even about the aliens or whatever. But
Hmm.
anyway, I loved that conversation and I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they like have common ground and all that. The only thing I just didn't like was I was like, wait a second. Like he has not even had a chance to like respond, which it could just be the way they had it edited. He has not even had really a chance to respond besides yes. And then she's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, girl, like, slow down. Like, you are
Yeah,
jumping around like a crazy woman.
right. I wonder though, sometimes like for the just like the television factor or whatever, if they're
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, let's show like a list of all the crazy topics they hit on because it for a lot of people it's like entertaining.
Yeah. Hmm. I agree. I
You know
agree.
what
So I don't know
I mean?
if it's edited that way or not because I feel like the next couple
Right.
episodes, it's not that way. Like it's definitely, so I don't know if she was nervous or excited or like, I don't even know. I don't know. I just was like,
Right.
girlfriend, hold up a second.
Okay, we'll have to I've got to watch the next couple to
Yeah.
see. So you liked the artist. I liked her too. What did you like about
I like
her?
I like her like peaceful, calm thing she's got going on. I liked Alex. He was the guy she talked to that was like bullied. Which I can't believe how many of them have like these horrible stories of like, oh my gosh, all these people are going through all this horrible stuff. Oh, I always just feel horrible. Like it just seems to be a common theme. I don't know if it's just like who they pick for these shows because they think it'll be more interesting because they have a different history or I don't know what it is. I just feel like everybody has, I mean, I know, I understand it's part of living life. Everybody's going to have something, but like for Madison and Alex to have such heartbreaking stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, like woo.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if like producers know about that or not. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be on the show or whatever. I just am like, wow, like there's a lot of
Right.
heavy stuff I feel like this season. With some, I shouldn't say, maybe that just sticks out more in my mind because like the other couples like are more lighthearted and fun. Not saying that Alex and Madison aren't that way, but like their stories so far don't seem to be as like
Yeah.
sad. Because I
What
was
did
really
you
sad for
think
them.
about?
I was like, horrible. There are horrible people in the world treating you this way. That's horrible.
I know. And also, you have to think of it like these are essentially kids treating other kids this way. So I don't know, like if my son treated people badly like that and I knew about it, I, I would like lose my mind on him. And
Yeah.
and I just can't imagine because he's been raised, you know, I'll just say better than that. Like I just can't, I don't understand. It's like where do these kids get the idea to treat other people, other humans so terribly?
I don't know.
Like they
It's
have to get the idea
horrible.
somewhere or have experienced something themselves or whatever because I just like not normal nature to do that,
No, it just was
in my
horrible.
opinion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
completely agree with what you're saying. So I'm just like, are you serious? Like, who does that? Who pushes somebody's tray on the floor? Like, who
I
does
know.
that? That is horrible.
I
That
know.
is, I can't even imagine.
So it is cool. It's like, that's my food. Like I would probably beat somebody's ass if they did that to me. Like I
Yeah,
would, the rage mode would
I just can't
and
imagine not having anybody anywhere. And then like your parents, like your family disowning you because you're not smart or whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh.
oh God, I know that was awful. I thought,
Yeah.
oh my God, are you kidding? Like okay. I mean, you have kids and so I know you'll get this. I don't know. I could understand it logically before I had a child, but it really took me having a child to totally get this. But like, there is literally nothing that Jagger could do or say or be or whatever that would make me disown him.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
just can't imagine that. I
No.
might
And
not
I,
like it, not
yeah.
lose my mind about it, but I would never be like, you're not my son anymore or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just over like being academic. Like that's what I
And
don't
yeah,
understand. Like, that's not really
right.
something that somebody goes out in life and like, I want to be dumb. Like it's not like that was what he was seeking. Just it's just like
Uh,
who people are. Like you I mean for somebody, yeah, to treat somebody that way for who they are as a person, like I don't know.
well, and a
That's just
lot of
like
times,
the old doctors when they ask you like, at 4 months old if your babies can roll over or whatever. It's like no, but like there's literally nothing I can do about it. I cannot make this baby roll over. So like who cares? Obviously you want them to like have the best or whatever, but like they'll do it when they do it. Like, you know?
yeah, there's a definite, Jagger went to Montessori school until we moved to Columbus, so through almost sixth grade. And their philosophy is there's like a range of norms. It's not like this is the benchmark or this is the age you have to know something by or whatever. So you're in a classroom with like a 3-year spread. And it's beautiful because of course everyone's different and individual. And some people just aren't like, not everyone's meant to be a pro NBA player. Not everyone's meant to be a rocket scientist. Not everyone's meant to be a janitor. Not everyone's meant, but we need all of it.
Yeah.
We need all of
Yeah.
it. So yeah, I wish people would just embrace that more and be more like loving, caring, appreciative, grateful for all of the things.
Yeah, because he
Um,
really seems to be a great person. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be great. I think he's a nice guy. I wish them, him, her, who, I mean, I wish them all the best. Like, I think
Yeah.
that he's a nice guy. I didn't have anybody that I was like ill towards this season so far. Like, there's been a couple, like, I'm not a huge fan of Dave, but I've not been
Yeah.
like as blue about him as I have like other seasons where I'm like, no, 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 you are not giving me vibes. Like, there's something off here.
Yeah. Same. I do have a question, but I don't want you to like don't give away anything for episode 2 or 3 when you answer this. But at
Okay.
the end of episode 1, when Molly and the artist and then the other girl that Dave was seeing were all sitting
Uh,
in the living room or whatever, and they ask the other girl Dave's seeing like if she's because she's thinking, oh, I think he might like be so into me, it might be me. Well, Molly's sitting there saying, oh, I think I met my husband. And the
yeah.
other girl wants to know who it is. So she's like, do you feel comfortable like saying who your guy is? She's like, yeah, I think so because I think, he might be my husband or whatever. And she's like, Dave. She whispers Dave. And then that other girl was like, but she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Were you? I mean, first of all, when they ended on a cliffhanger like that, I just love it. But I was like,
Yeah. That's why I have to
oh,
watch them.
yeah. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, here.
Yes. That was, I definitely Love is Blind tradition of, okay, game on. It's about to get real. I do think everybody this season, they're like nice and very kind towards each other and very supportive, which I really like. I feel like maybe most seasons are that way. There's been a couple of seasons where I'm like, I don't know that, this bunch is like gonna make it. But yeah, I really like when they end on cliffhangers like that. I mean, I haven't gotten far enough to even know who's with who.
Okay.
I've only
But
seen one couple.
I just feel like, I don't know if I could just sit there and be like, oh, I might be like, wait, Dave, because that's also who I'm like, okay, I think I might have to say that because also
Yeah.
number one, Molly is over there thinking like she's getting real deep in it, like it's just me basically.
Hmm.
And you're sitting here like, oops, he's talking to me like that too. Like, don't you think? I mean, what do you think? Do you think
I
she
would
should
be
have said
asking the
something?
guy. I'd be asking, nah, I don't know. I could see keeping it close to your chest. That way it doesn't get weird like right away. But I think I would be asking the guy, like, okay, so how many people are you talking to? Like, I want to know, because as it goes on, they don't talk to everybody again. They just pick who they like the best. So I
Yeah,
would just
yeah.
and be like, okay, who are you? Like, who are like? How many people are you talking to? How many people are you still going on dates with? Like, I just need to know.
And
But I
what
don't think I would
happens when
want Molly.
right?
I
What
mean,
happens when
I would panic probably. In all reality, I probably would panic and be like, "Me too." But I think that it might be the better strategy to make it farther would be to not say anything. For
well,
me,
I'm just
emotionally.
wondering, Rob, I'm wondering, oh wait, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter. It'll come back to me. Or it won't. It doesn't matter. It was about that kind of thing. Like it was something along the lines of that. Like I think talking to the guy about it is great. Like asking him, oh, I know what I was gonna say. I had to just talk myself back to it. So I'm wondering when you said like they kind of pick who they want to go and see, talk to more, what if the guy's like, I want to talk to this person, but that person doesn't have that guy on her list? Like, do they both have to agree?
I
Or
don't
is
know.
it just Yeah, I don't know either. I'm just
I'm
curious about
assuming
that.
they probably both agree for the most part. I'm assuming they probably both agree. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah, I
they,
don't know
I
how
feel like they
production
probably
can.
told like if you don't have a connection with this person, like make sure you let them know. Maybe.
Yeah, I just don't know how production handles it, so I was curious if you did.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I don't know. I would be curious too. That'd be something I would ask them. Like so many questions.
Yes, so many. All right, I think we're about at time.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about everything I really wanted to talk about. I don't really remember anybody else. Like, I don't know, some of the couples I really get invested in, and then other couples I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, you're
Yeah,
cool. I don't know. But I feel like I'm pretty
yeah,
invested
I'm
so
not.
far in what's gonna shake out with Madison and Alex. And then Mason, I'm pretty invested in what he's gonna do. Who else am I invested in? Dave, he's just curious to me. He's a mess.
Yeah,
I feel like once
I'm
the girls
just
were like
dying
called
to.
out, I feel like once the girls called him out, then he was a little more like, oh, maybe that is not like the smartest question to be asking people.
Right, right. I don't. Yeah, I don't know how it would feel like. It's real easy for me to be like, why do you go in there and ask the same question to everyone? But I don't know how it would feel to like sit behind a wall and be trying to talk to somebody either. You know what?
Yeah, I
Like,
think so planned. Yeah.
yeah, but I just know it doesn't seem authentic like watching it.
No, no, he definitely was over planning. I think that's why they showed us that. Give us a
Yeah.
better clue as to who he is as a person.
Yeah. Oh, I will say I loved I thought that I don't remember who said it, but I thought the comment about the funny Christmas cards, one of the guys does funny Christmas cards.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, he said he like makes a Christmas card every year, and every year that he's been single, he does a crazier one. Like dresses up in like ugly sweaters and puts all these crazy Christmas lights around, and like does all this stuff. And he's like, I want to carry that tradition on when I have a family, and us like take a picture to make these crazy Christmas cards and just be funny and silly. And whoever he was talking to, she was into it. But
Yeah,
anyway, I just
I
thought it
think
was
that was.
cute. I
Maybe
just thought it was
maybe it's Ben. Ben
because
said
I think
that?
having like maybe I don't remember. I just think having playful, like I love a playful attitude,
Yeah.
and I love that. I feel like when men can bring playfulness, also, like I just love that.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
Yeah. So
I agree.
anyway,
Okay, well, until next time, next week will be the Women Tell All and maybe episode 2 and 3. Maybe if we get that far.
yeah, we're hoping to. We'll see.
All right, sounds good.
All right, later.
Bye.